Thank you, Larry. I just want to make sure all the Senate people around here knows that Dave Hoppe started his career in the House and he finished his career in the House with a little booking in between for the United States Senate. We just always have to trash talk both sides of the rotunda. But it is just a great pleasure to be here. I want to thank you for that kind introduction, Larry. And first and foremost, I want to thank everyone who's associated with the Easter Seals organization, the sponsors and the supporters, all the staff that made this evening possible. Thank you very much for all that you've done to make this night possible. We really appreciate it. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and I'm grateful for the chance to say a few words about tonight's recipient of the 2025 Judy Human Community Advocate Award, my friend, Dave Hoppe. Dave, I want to thank you for the opportunity to help celebrate this lifetime of service that you have given all of us, and I'm so thrilled to be here with you and your family tonight. Now, I had the pleasure of knowing this man, Dave Hoppe, for 3 decades. I first met him as the former chief of staff to then my boss, Jack Kemp. Dave Hoppe was revered in Kemp world as a man of tremendous character. He was held in such high regard because he possessed a strong moral compass, a firm set of principles, and he had this inner confidence that came from decades of living in accordance with his Christian faith. And beyond being a great person, Dave was a fantastic chief of staff to not just me, but many other legislators. He was so well regarded by both sides of the aisle on Capitol Hill as he had been for years. And so you have this combination of a person with gravitas, intelligence, and a policy acumen that has also made him a tremendous advocate for the people with disabilities. And when it came time to advocating for those communities on Capitol Hill, Dave Hoppe was a force of nature. When Congress debated legislation like the ABLE Act, his personal experience, it opened hearts, it opened minds, and it led to better public policy. You know, at a time when politics can be divisive and messy, Dave Hoppe brought compassion and empathy to our debates. His dedication to helping others through public policy was both genuine and authentic. Simply put, it was inspiring. And more than any person that I have ever met, Dave Hoppe lives the values that Easter Seals prides itself on. He treats everyone with respect. He mentored a generation of young staffers like myself. He assisted new lawmakers to find their voices and to find their footing, and he always lent an ear to people advocating for their cause. Dave cares for others. I always admired that. By day, Dave would help me lead the legislative branch, which is kind of a messy thing these days. And by night, without fail, Dave would return home and care for his family. His priorities were always right. And that's a rare thing in today's Washington. He operates with integrity. When I took over as Speaker, which some of you may know, it was not something I was planning. It was very quick, it was very sudden, it was very unplanned. And I knew I needed immediately to set up a brand new speakership in the middle of a session. I needed somebody who had respect, who knew the legislative branch inside and out, and who had a servant's heart. I knew there was only one phone call and one phone call only that I was going to make, and that was Dave Hoppe. I'm grateful that he came and served with me, and I found so much more than just those qualities with Dave. More than anything, Dave Hoppe feels responsible for those people around him. He believes that every person should be loved, cared for, accepted, given the chance to lead a life of purpose and opportunity. And that's why I'm so grateful that Easter Seals has chosen him to honor Dave with the Judy Human Community Advocate Award. Dave's changed so many lives through his advocacy with his Easter Seals involvement. There are people in this room whose lives are better because of Dave Hoppe. And there are even more people around this country who will never know Dave, but whose lives will be better because of his dedication to those in need. But rather than simply taking my word for it, I thought we should hear from someone who knows Dave best. That's his son, Greg. Greg Hoppe, come on up here if you don't mind. Now, you know your dad better than anyone. And before we call him up here on stage to give him this amazing award, is there anything you'd like to say about your dad?
Well, my dad is great, so he taught me to ride a bike, and my dad taught me how to play baseball. My dad took me to fun nights game.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Everybody, please join me and Greg in welcoming to the stage the 2025 Judy Human Community Advocate Award winner, Dave Hoppe.